Today we are going to be talking about gifted, talented, and creative brains, how they are similar, but really how they are different. There's a common misconception that gifted and talented individuals are the same as creative thinkers. This is not the case, and in fact, the physicality of their brains, cognitive processes, achievement, and ability are quite different. When considering the physical differences of gifted and talented individuals, Geek coined the phrase fluid analogizing. Fluid analogizing is when one is consistently making connections or analogies to what is being discussed or studied. According to Deek, a characteristic of a quality teacher is their ability to create analogies for explanation and clarification. This is an effective strategy because it allows students to make connections to learning, which is what learning is all about, building on what you know. Gifted students do this persistently. This type of thinking is accomplished in the frontal lobe or in the working memory of the brain. The working memory also connects with the long-term memory to make continual connections. Among all networks and specific centers in our brain, there are two that are distinct for creative thinking. The first is common for both creative minds and gifted and talented minds. The attentional control network helps us to focus on particular tasks. It's one that we use to activate what we need to concentrate on complicated problems, or to pay attention to when working on a task like reading or listening to a talk. One that is specific for creative minds is the imagination network. As you might have guessed, this is for imagining future scenarios and remembering things that happened in the past. This network helps us to construct mental images when we're engaged in these activities. Creative minds often focus on this imagination network and have the flexibility to produce several ideas. Cognitive differences are often more definite when considering gifted and talented versus creative thinkers. Gifted and talented individuals often generate abstract ideas, while creative thinkers just have a surplus of ideas, many of which may never be fully developed, according to Kingor. Gifted and talented consider ideas in depth and from different perspectives. On the other hand, creative thinkers give new ideas related to the original idea. Thinking about physical and cognitive differences between gifted and talented students versus creative thinkers leads us to the differences between ability and achievement. In general, gifted students process information quicker and with better accuracy than non-gifted students. However, this is only in their area of expertise. One teacher reflected on how his son was a gifted logical thinker. However, when it came to reading, the son struggled and was a slow processor. In general, gifted students answer questions more deeply, while creative thinkers are more likely to play with ideas and think about future scenarios. This leads us to achievement. Gifted and talented students often only need 1 to 2 repetitions in order to master. Creative thinkers may actually just question the need for mastery. I have one student who is an extremely creative thinker. In writing, he wrote a fictional story from the perspective of a villain Pokemon. His story had great sequential order, high vocabulary, and several ways describing how the character felt and how the character was thinking. The student, however, almost didn't have any punctuation in his writing. He questioned the need for punctuation and became frustrated when he was held accountable to include punctuation. Finally, we come to the question of nature or nurture. Do both of these types of students naturally have this ability, or have they nurtured this ability because of their environments? These differences between the two types of thinkers can result from the natural abilities individuals are born with. However, that is not to say that one cannot develop gifted or creative abilities. Carol Dweck, a psychology professor at Stanford University, introduced a phrase titled growth mindset. With this type of mindset, students know that they can continue to learn. The opposite would be a fixed mindset, saying things to yourself like, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I can't learn this. A growth mindset says, okay, this is a challenge, but I can overcome it. Students with this type of mindset are able to grow in gifted abilities or in creative abilities. Students are able to think more deeply or to think more creatively if given multiple opportunities to practice these skills. There are a large variety of opportunities for teachers to develop deep thinking and creativity, including higher level thinking questions or divergent thinking opportunities are one way. Open-ended questions also connect with higher level thinking questions. Teachers might include opportunities for brainstorming, making connections to the real world, or making cross-curricular connections. Other techniques include 6 thinking hats or scamper, 2 techniques used to develop deep thinking and creativity. Overall, it is important for teachers to get to know their students and to provide opportunities for deep thinking and creativity. Thank you for listening.